Dear American friends, I'm tired of walking barefoot in your airport. It's disgusting. 8 in the evening, my dear husband is taking me to the airport. He still takes me to the airport every single time. This journey starts here in this village. I have many new subscribers since 2019, and so probably I should specify that until February 2020 I used to be a digital nomad, a full-time traveler, whatever you would call it. I didn't live in one specific place. Of course, then the pandemic changed the life of so many people, mine included. But lately, since things are kind of coming back, I've been starting to rewatch some of my older travel vlogs, and I've been starting to miss so much traveling so randomly all over the place, taking planes, finding myself in cities in different countries. In case you have been missing that too, this is a video where you're gonna get that sensation again. Here's the deal. In American airports, or at least the ones that I've been to, they ask you to take your shoes off, and they don't give you anything to replace the shoes while you walk through the security checks. Even if you ask for something to cover your feet, they don't have it available. But that is not even the worst thing. The worst thing is that the baskets that they give you to put your stuff inside, they have contained the shoes of all the people before you, and they don't clean them. So I don't understand what's the deal with Americans and this unsanitary habit of putting your shoes everywhere, touching them. It's disgusting. I just walked with these shoes on the sidewalk of Manhattan. There are people pooping on the street, dogs pooping, rats running around everywhere. And then I've been forced to put the same exact shoes in the same container as my backpack, my jacket, my phone. It's so disgusting. This is what I call being lucky. I had the whole road to myself. Actually, it was not just luck, because I made sure to board the airplane as the very last passenger so that I could see where the free rows were. I didn't sit in my designated seat, which I was allowed to do because I asked before. Anyway, welcome to Lisbon. This is the part of the airport that I remember best from my very first trip to New York City, which has been my very first trip as a full-time traveler, March 2018. I took the same exact airline company that I took today to get there, which is TAP Air Portugal. That's why I also had a layover for one night here in Lisbon. And I think this part of the airport that connects the airport to the subway station is very nice. So bright and sunny. That metro ride took me to my couchsurfing host's apartment. Rashid is a 40-and-something-year-old freelancer data analyst. He's from Bangladesh. We virtually met online a couple of days before my departure. He offered to help me spend a good layover in Lisbon, and from his kind and polite texts, I immediately understood I would have been safe with him. What I didn't know is that I was out for the most fun I've had in a couple of years. Rashid is highly educated in literature and history, and that's part of the reason why we clicked. The weather couldn't have been better. Sunny, 22 degrees Celsius, everyone was outside enjoying themselves. We first did some typical Portuguese things. He made me try a ginginha for the first time, a very sweet cherry liqueur.
Ginginha.
Ginginha.
And then we went to eat pastéis de nata.
You already finished it. Oh, this is delicious.
That's how you drink it.
But it's delicious. It's a bit like that. Oh, it's so good. Ginginha. This has officially become my tradition. Come to Lisbon for like 20 hours and have pastéis de nata. They're so delicious.
We walked through the historical center to the riverside.
Wow.
The energy around was vibrant and cheerful. I believe everyone around me felt the same way. We were finally hanging out in the warmth after a long winter and finally enjoying being around people after 2 years of harsh restrictions to socialization. People crowded up along the river Tejo. The atmosphere was the most beautiful you could imagine. Rached took me to a spot where they served us sangria on beach chairs in front of the water. I felt my day couldn't get better than that.
Good wishes from Lisbon, the best spot in Lisbon.
I agree.
And I'm glad I met her.
Thank you.
After a 30 minutes bus ride along the harbor, we arrived at sunset to the birthday party of Rached's friend Greta, a person who had never seen me before but warmly welcomed me to her gathering nonetheless. It took us only a couple of mint teas or beers to feel as if we were all good old friends. We were such a wonderfully international group. That night it felt as if the world had no borders.
Hey, this is Rashid. I just met this amazing person and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
My name is Greta. I'm Italian-American, have been living in Portugal, but I live in Southeast Asia and I was raised in California.
Hello. Hola. My name is Nadine. I'm Congolese Belgian.
I'm Ennio from Venezuela. I was born in Venezuela, but I'm Italian.
This is Mustafa, do Bangladesh, for making fun only.
In the middle of laughs and silly jokes, just as I thought it couldn't get better than that, I asked Mustafa if he could play us something with his tampura.
Tune by Abdul Rahman. I have converted into in Bangla and giving the same rhythm and meaning, but I added my own compositions as well at the end.
Rumi kore.
Rumi, of course. You know the Rumi. He is talking of Rumi. Let us play something from Rumi. Rumi.
Rumi is so good. He is one of the very good poets in the world.
Rumi Q.
This music, Khalil Gibran composed, originally inspired by the great poetry from Rumi, Masnavi. The first few verses I am playing to your honor. In Persian language.
Jalaluddin Rumi.
Okay, let's see.
Vishnu ajne tum shikayat mi kunad ab judai ha hikayat mi kunad kazna istanta bareba bride and Vishnu ajne tum shikayat mi kunad ab judai ha hikayat mi kunad Vishnu ajne chun shikayat mi kunad aaj judai ha hikayat mi kunad Vishnu ajne chun shikayat mi kunad aaj judai hikayat mi kunad. Listen, listen what the flute sings, it has been cut from its origin, so it is crying, and only because of the pain of separation, only the men and women, those who have fallen in love and those who have been separated, they can understand the meaning of this pain and suffering of flute. Listen what the flute is singing. Give me the tuning, because that is the only tuning existing after the end of this universe. Give me the tune, the music, return me the tune and the music, because I know that by the end of the universe, only music will sustain. That is from Khalil Gibran, the last few verses.
My handmade ethical earrings, and you can follow me on Instagram at Greta Sustainable Clothes.
We got a car to go back to the city center, driving up and down through the narrow, curvy streets of Old Lisbon.
Most about Europe, people hanging out outdoors, not in the bars.
Already shattered, so I could not bring that one, but this is perfectly alright. And that was completely broken, so beautiful it is. It's just like part of my body and heart, part of my soul. I cannot leave it.
After I danced my face off to silly pop songs, Rashid and I went to sleep around 2. I got up at 5, called a cab to the airport, and got ready for my next flight.
Not what I had expected, but it's still very nice. We were supposed to go to Venice, and by we I mean me, my mother and my sister. We decided to spend the day together, but Venice turned out it was super full of tourists today, probably for Easter holidays, so we decided to change plan, and because we had the car available, we are simply driving around the lagoon of Venice, and out of the lagoon we came to the seaside, and now we are exploring this area here. Soon we're gonna stop for lunch, having some wonderful fish. Can't wait. We stopped for lunch in this trattoria, which has a very beautiful view on the River Piave. River Piave is unfortunately famous for having been one of the fronts of the First World War. We're gonna eat fish. Here the specialty is pesce alla brace. What my body and mind miss the most when I'm in New York are the calm of nothing special happening around me and the absence of traffic and machine noise. So these moments in front of the sea were precious. I'm lucky enough to not have specific times for when traveling, so I can book flights whenever I want because I work online. So if direct flights are too expensive for me, I can easily book a flight with the layover. This one with the layover is a travel formula that I love sharing on YouTube because it has so many benefits. And I'm not talking about only benefits for the single individual, but also benefits for society in general. I highly encourage you to use Couchsurfing to travel around. Couchsurfing is a website that allows you to meet locals in your travel destination so that you can hang out, and they can even give you hospitality in their own homes if you want. When I was still traveling, I used to make tons of videos about Couchsurfing. I have a full playlist where I explain you what is Couchsurfing, how it works, how you could use it the best way and safest way possible. Even though in 2020 something changed in Couchsurfing, I talked about it in a separate video, so my enthusiasm for the website cooled off a little bit, but I still think it's one of the best tools out there to promote cultural exchange and friendship among different ethnic groups. Another reason for choosing a flight with layover like this one and save a lot of money that you can reinvest in your education, for example, is because in a very short amount of time, 20 hours in this case, you are able to experience a completely new situation and challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone. By the way, don't think that for me this layover in Lisbon has been easy. The day before the departure, I haven't been able to find a free hostel to book a room to, which was my original plan, and I spent a horrible half day because I was panicking. I was so tense about what I would have done in Lisbon and stuff like that. So I showed you just the bright side of this trip, but there is a dark side too. It's not easy to push yourself to do something like this, but the mental health benefit of getting out of your comfort zone from time to time is incredible. I think we should always push ourselves from time to time to do something unusual that makes us uncomfortable, because that's the best way to develop personally. Questioning from time to time your certainties.
I know COVID is still up there, and I've been a big supporter of the initial lockdowns and restrictions, but emergency situations should only last a few months maximum. And now we are 2 years into this pandemic, and we are only now starting to see the psychological and social disasters that this pandemic has brought. If you're feeling somehow uncomfortable to be around people right now, if it's even difficult to organize meetups with your friends, know that you are not alone. On the contrary, these 2 years have changed things for a lot of people, especially regarding socializing with other people that are not those who you see every single day. But we are social animals. We need that human interaction also with strangers. So I think now it's the time to direct our efforts to get out to society again, socialize with people that we don't know or we haven't seen in a long time. For how difficult it will be, I think it's a matter of social health. I think washing thoroughly our hands and wearing a mask when we are in crowded places is at this point just a standard hygienic practice for us. So while respecting these hygienic practices, I think we should really push ourselves to get out more and socialize with people more. It's not the time. If you're also nostalgic about these kind of travel vlogs, I encourage you to check out this page on my website where you can pick one of the travel series that I have on my YouTube channel, or if you're lazy, you don't want to leave the platform, you can check out this video here. It's one of my personal favorites. If you're considering supporting me financially, remember that I have a Patreon page where I upload weekly extra content. I wish you all happy trips and happy socializations. See you next time.